Welcome to receptive mode. We've just been through a fire eclipse. I've had a lot of messages from the Father for holy, holy, holy. And the romance angels are coming in for star signs. And here is where I'm going to talk more about the twin flames. I have a message here for divine feminine and one for divine masculine. Now I do want to read this because it's been very intense. You are in your mission. I call it a mission for nothing. And this is about maturation, growing up, introspection, and know thyself from the Fairy Oracle for Lucy Cavendish. We're also going to be bringing you a few series about father therapy, anger releasing. So if you're angry at your father, that'd be perfect combo. And bringing in more healings here at Receptive Mode and more readings and extensions. And sort of less on YouTube, more about the star signs there, the tribe. This fairy being seems shrouded in deep contemplation. Crooked in the cradle of a darkening moon. Crooked in the cradle of a darkening moon from the northern hemisphere perspective. A dark air of regret swirls about her. This sad being represents the darkening, the time when we self-assess. And like her, grapple with understanding our response to a real test. She feels withdrawn, very young, very childlike, raw and untried. This is no failure of hers. She is facing the sadness that can lie within, asking the difficult questions. On her head, curl the horns of the ram, showing she is a fairy being. One who has been brave and headstrong, and who for a time has stepped back to unfamiliar territory, that of the questioning of self. She is one of the few of her kind left, and her dilemma is that of feeling isolated and winnowed out, and of being treated unjustly. She faces a quiet kind of extinction, and knows that whatever she chooses to do now will determine her fate. And so she takes this time to ponder. To sit and to understand before acting. She is both masculine and feminine, her horns indicating many years of being on the earth as they are mature, thick, and heavily curling. She has survived a little over the years and asked only to keep going. But now it seems she faces a real threat and must take steps to not only survive herself, but to secure and ensure that those like her continue on. From the dark times of deep contemplation, she will emerge and come out again into the world with strength, determination, and knowledge. She will flourish again as you, divine feminine. But for now, it is the time of the dark night of the soul. And it is necessary and good, for of it wisdom will be born, and her kind will live wild and free once again. Interestingly, this can be interpreted as a menopausal card for women, or one of seeming bad news bringing about change, as their moon times move to darkening. It is a time for understanding the frailties of the self and understanding the wisdom your years on this earth have taught you. Knowing that there is nothing that can be done at this time, knowing that you need to understand where you are responsible for the current situation. Learning and taking ownership of responsibility will create freedom and new opportunities. Move through this and feel renewed, alive, and as though your own personal evolution is finally underway. It will never be too late. The tests and the subsequent wisdom make this life here so worthwhile, and will create your beautiful legacy for generations to come. You will rise up from this as the phoenix is reborn from the ashes, just as the moon will wax and grow full once again. Have hope, but do spend some time in contemplation. Going to the depths and darkness of your soul to retrieve and lift out the grief. That's where you've been, and this is where divine masculine has been. Light, the darkness. This has been a breaking of a DNA code, you know, a patterning of abuse or codependency. Ancestors, ancestral line, generation shift. Listen to elders. Find a playful, wise elder from whom you can learn. Seek out relatives and ancestor wisdom. Search through your family tree for evidence of the magics within you. They are there. Old wise ones have messages for you, and you can learn much from them. Allow them to pass on their wisdom to you as a living tradition continues. Understand that you come from a long line of wise ones and connect with those elders. A chance encounter with an older person gives you gives you much to think about. You will learn a great deal at this time if you connect with older people. Do not be afraid of growing older. You will never die. Your light will be passed on and your soul spark will return to source, to starfire, to be renewed again, only as you agree. A tiny, bright, childlike fairy straddles the grizzled head of a fairy elder. What can this mean? In fairy lore, the head is particularly significant. It is the head that inspiration, fire, and power are said to reside. The fairy told the ancient Celts of this secret, and the Celts then venerated and collected the heads of the heroes slain, which often were said to live long after the body had passed away. And this small, bright fairy is hearing all of the wisdom this old being has. So cute. He is sharing, telling, and communicating, and while she may seem playful, she's attending to his every word, and she will remember for generations to come. You see, fairy do not live forever, though they live very long lives, a great deal longer than any humans do, even the ones with human blood. However, they do fade away, and the small fairy being atop the head of the old one will ensure the knowledge continues on. On another level, the small brightness of the fairy represents inspiration, the muse, the fire in the head, which we speak of in Celtic shamanism. It is when we feel and see and know that connection to all that is, when we are afire with inspiration and ideas that flow to us and from us and within us, that we are restored to our true self. This beautiful ancient being whose light is fading is passing on this wisdom into the keeping of the young and often underestimated. So getting some wisdom, you know, in exchange for clearing the pattern, then you get the wisdom. It's a great time. We're just going to have a bit of intermission with some porn for women. I'm going to show you what it really is like in the kingdom. No, I'm serious. We've saved too much for retirement. Take the card, go out and buy anything you want. Anything. Breathe it in, Divine Feminine. This is receptive mode. Then I get another one, a message from Divine Masculine. No. This is a great time to talk. Well, thank you, darling. Let's get one more. I found this. We have a library, collective library in the community. It's just on the corner. It's a little hut. I'll show it to you. Listen, I'm telling you something. If it detects more than 2 decibels of snoring, it jolts me awake and I roll over. You love it? You love it. Oh, that's a good one. It's just meant to make you laugh, nothing else. But just know we're both coming out of some shift that was epic and down to the DNA programming. And there's a high influx of electrophotonic plasma light codes coming in, and that's why we had to push that out. It's the timing to bring in the new high vibration. So if you need help with that, look me up at reikibybella.com, and I'll be back for your extensions moving into this month through into the next new moon. Thanks for being here. I love you. Be back soon. Bye for now.